Her stomach is in knots.
She's not doing great.
Louis takes her money away.
When I need my money laundered, I'll call you. I want it to be better.
It's not going to be better.
All right.
I don't want to talk about it.
I cannot believe that Teresa is in another marriage with financial, legal issues.
Sure, you all have seen the news, and a lot of you have been commenting on the Casual Chaos Instagram, wondering if I will comment on this topic. I told you guys that I want to be real with you, and I'm commenting on it. Bethenny Frankel, I hope that $1,000 TikTok paycheck was really worth it.
Welcome back to Celebrity News Addict. Today, we'll be diving into all the latest news surrounding Teresa Giudice and her husband, Luis Ruelas, as it has been revealed that they're facing over $3 million in tax liens. In this video, we'll get into everything you need to know, including the exact figures for both Luis and Teresa's debts, the public backlash and comments from ex-Real Housewife of New York, Bethenny Frankel, which has sparked an online war with Teresa, as well as Gia's reactions and decision to publicly defend her family. We'll also be covering potential consequences of the unpaid liens, getting into all the rumours that the debt may be taken from Teresa's Housewives' paycheck, discussing the suspicions that the pair may be forced to foreclose on their home, and how the lack of a prenup between Teresa and Luis could lead Teresa right back to jail. From wire fraud to sarcastic social media tirades and potential criminal convictions, we've got a lot to cover. So let's get into it. We'll start by getting into the nitty-gritty of the liens and what this could mean for Teresa and Luis before diving into all the details around the online backlash and Teresa and Gia's social media battle with Bethenny. So, after serving 11 months in prison for mail, wire, and bankruptcy fraud back in 2015, it appears 10 years later, this Real Housewife is back at it again and hasn't learnt from her mistakes. As just a couple of weeks ago, on Monday, March 24th, it was revealed that Teresa and Luis owe a combined total of $3 million in tax liens. According to records obtained by People magazine, on March 20th, a judge announced that Teresa owes precisely $308,889.20 in unpaid tax, while a judgment was brought against Luis, which placed his tax debts at $2,569,842.06, on top of the lien for $163,523.94, which was issued to him on December 12th last year, and according to the New Jersey courts, he still hasn't paid. Plus, Teresa's outstanding tax lien from her situation with Joe 10 years ago, which she's still paying off. But we'll get into that in a second. And that's not all. Luis has more outstanding debts that aren't covered by these liens, as on March 6th, 2025, just 2 weeks before the judge issued their tax judgment, Luis filed for a mortgage modification, requesting an extension on the maturity date for a $1 million loan that he had taken out on the home that he and Teresa bought back in 2021, before they got married. The pair had purchased the home for $3,350,000 under an LLC, which lists Luis as the sole owner. Luckily for Luis, his request for a loan extension was made before the tax liens were filed against him. So, the lender agreed to extend the maturity date of the initial loan to March 25th, 2026, giving Luis another year to pay back this debt. And at the same time, Luis, not in enough debt apparently, also went ahead and decided to take out another loan for $250,000. According to People magazine, it is currently unclear what led to Teresa and Luis' liens, but typically liens of this size arise due to underreporting income or failure to pay property taxes. Some suspect that Teresa may not have been properly deducting tax from her housewife's paycheck, while Luis repeatedly taking out loans against their home could suggest he's been up to some dodgy property tax dealings too. And that's not to mention the investigations that have been going on against Luis' company, Venevia, since last year, after the CEO, Marcelo Genovese, and by implication Luis, were accused of financial misconduct and defrauding millions of dollars from multiple companies. I dug into that whole mess in a separate video last year, which will be linked below if you want to check it out. Whatever the cause, these lien judgments mean Teresa and Luis could have a long road of legal ramifications and big payments ahead of them, especially when it comes to their home, as if the debt remains unaddressed, the government has the right to claim the couple's assets to clear their debt. According to the former Deputy Attorney General of New Jersey, Mitchell Newmark, a tax lien is advanced through the court system after an individual is made aware of their tax debt but has not taken the appropriate action to respond to it. And history seems to be repeating itself, as Teresa may, once again, be ignoring the debt and hoping it goes away. In an exclusive interview with People magazine, Newmark said, quote, "If the debt goes final, either because you don't challenge the assessment, or you challenge it but you lose in court and you don't pay, then they can seek to collect, and that's when you wind up with a tax lien." This suggests that Teresa and Luis have either not challenged the legal judgment against them or have already been through this appeal process and lost. So this debt has been hanging around for a while. Newmark also said, quote, "The question is, why is there a lien? Is the money actually really owed, or is there some mistake going on?" He continued, "If you don't pay, the state could seek to foreclose on an owned home, basically take the property, sell it, keep the money," concluding, "What they really want is the money. That's what it's all about, trying to get your attention and get the money." And the additional loans against their home, coupled with these new tax liens, could be about to cause an even bigger problem for the pair. According to Newmark, one of the first things the banks usually want to know before lending you any money is if there are any outstanding tax liens. If so, they'll typically want you to settle these before moving forward, which means any future requests for loans could be off the table for Luis and Teresa. Problematic if they're going to continue living in this home. Commenting on how the latest loan extension could impact the tax liens, Newmark said, quote, "There could be a fight. There could be more money owed on the house than it's worth." Plus, according to matrimonial lawyer Alan Feigenbaum, Teresa and Luis might even be forced to pay more than the $3 million that they currently owe, as they'll have to negotiate with the IRS to reach a settlement. He said, quote, "First, you need to get to the point of, will the taxing authority agree to a settlement? If they will for a certain number, that's great. But it doesn't necessarily mean that it's just, I'll pay this and I'm done. There may be conditions involved. I can't say definitively that, oh, I paid it, my hands are clean. No. In an ideal outcome, yes, but it may not be that simple. Each negotiation with the IRS is case specific." And the fact that Teresa and Luis don't have a prenup could be another big issue, landing Teresa in a lot of hot water while she's still repaying 10-year-old debts, something which Bethenny Frankel was quick to point out, but we'll circle back to that later. According to Feigenbaum, quote, "Had there been a prenup, you could have defined what it is that constitutes marital debt or a marital liability versus a separate debt and a separate liability, and who would be responsible for that. When you're talking about defining marital debt in a prenup, you can be very explicit about ordinary living expenses or family expenses that are incurred with joint consent, which is far different than expenses incurred for illicit purposes or as to which the other party has no idea. He's basically stating that with a prenup, you have much more protection against what you consent to your partner doing with your money and taxes. But the lack of a prenup leaves both of them open to trouble and completely unprotected, just like Teresa was 10 years ago with Joe. This discussion of a prenup all comes amid speculation that if these liens do put pressure on the couple and they decide to part ways, it could lead to a very messy divorce for both of them. According to attorney Adam Michael Sachs, quote, "Husband and wife are 50-50 partners. If you have a debt, that could be half yours and half his. Meaning that if Teresa and Luis were to jointly file their returns, Teresa may be liable for the $2.6 million tax lien associated with Luis. This is because the ultimate goal for the IRS is to collect the money. So, if they jointly filed their returns, it would be put down as a marital liability and the IRS will go after both of them, no matter who is at fault. But I want to make it clear that despite the rumours on social media, neither of these two self-proclaimed twin flames have filed for a divorce or given any hints that this is on the cards. In fact, they continue to post loved up and obsessive photos of each other, so although there may be trouble in their bank accounts, their love bubble is still going strong. Anyway, that still isn't all. Apart from prenups or lack thereof and outstanding loans on their home, there is one more hurdle for the pair to overcome if they're looking to pay off these liens, which could mean that Teresa's Bravo paycheck could be seized, as Teresa is still actively paying off the tax lien she was issued from her marriage to Gia Giudice back in 2015 for $551,563.30. Tax controversy attorney Adam Brewer, who was interviewed by the US Sun on March 29th, explained, quote, "Teresa is looking at paying past due taxes plus current taxes at the same time. It really can put a crutch on you, meaning that if she can't set up an efficient repayment plan for both liens, she could be facing late payment penalties of up to 25% or even have her salary seized."
Mainly, we worry about late payment penalties. So IRS, generally, it's going to top out at 25%, but really the interest, that can be a problem, especially when you're talking about, let's say it's $3 million, they charge you 9% interest. You're looking somewhere north of $20,000 a month just in additional interest. She's essentially looking at paying past due taxes plus current taxes at the same time. It really can put a crunch on you. It really will give you every opportunity to resolve the balance, short of coming and seizing assets. But again, the bank accounts, like accounts receivables, wages, that's easy. They just send out one letter to a bank or one letter to an employer and can seize the funds. So that's definitely a risk if she's not in a formal repayment agreement.
So, after being issued these liens around a week ago, Teresa and Luis must now respond to them and come to an agreement with the IRS as to how they will clear the debts. If they don't, they could face potential criminal consequences or the seizure of assets. And with Teresa's past wire fraud conviction, things aren't looking great for her. Ex-New Jersey Attorney General Mitchell Newmark clarified in a recent interview that Teresa's past convictions won't necessarily impact her current debt, and there is no definite criminal conviction on the cards as of yet, unless authorities suspect that the pair have intentionally hidden money from the collectors. He explained, quote, "If the state still can't get paid and Teresa's been hiding money, then there could be some aspect of a criminal piece. But I would caveat that you really have to get to intent and what they were trying to do, and there's a tough line between criminal and civil." However, other legal experts have also weighed in, with some suggesting that Teresa could be in more trouble than we first thought. In fact, Marilyn Chinitz, a partner in Blank Rome's matrimonial and family law group, has warned in an interview with OK from March 31st that, quote, "One would hope that after her 2014 tax liability conviction, Teresa would have avoided further federal or state tax issues." Adding, quote, "The IRS could take a very stern position if her recent tax lien is a result of a new offence, as repetitive behaviour involving failure to pay taxes is taken very seriously by the government, whether it's federal or state. Is it enough to put her back in prison? It will all depend on the nature of the tax lien." What do you guys think about this? Is this all Luis doing? Were they both intentionally hiding money? Did Teresa know this was coming? Is she headed back to jail with Luis alongside her this time? You guys always have so much to say on the Real Housewives of New Jersey, so I can't wait to hear your opinions in the comments. Anyway, moving on from the legal background and a lot of tax talk to the social media scandal that this has caused. Of course, wherever Bravo drama goes, the Margarita Queen loves to follow. So, unsurprisingly, she was quick to comment on Teresa's financial struggles. In an Instagram reel posted on Tuesday, March 25th, Bethenny Frankel seemed to express sympathy for Teresa, stating, quote, "I cannot believe that Teresa is in another marriage with financial legal issues." Bethenny went on to reference this tweet from when Teresa married Luis in 2022, and Bethenny had tweeted, quote, "I may jump through my phone if Teresa Giudice doesn't sign a prenup. Check this out."
I cannot believe that Teresa is in another marriage with financial, legal issues. I have to pull when I tweeted, if Teresa Giudice does not sign a prenup, I will jump through my phone. I remember, and this was picked up everywhere. I was so like secondhand, just like, please, like you're watching the movie and you're like, no, do not open that closet. And I feel terrible, but like, fool me once, you're a fool. Fool me twice, I'm a fool. Like, love is blind, all of these things, but oh my God. I mean, there's never been a worse picker in the history of pickers than myself besides Teresa Giudice. Like, I know, I mean, I still win. I still win because I was 10 years on a 2-year marriage, but I didn't go to the clink. I almost would have and maybe he did, but oh my God, it's like almost not believable. And a lot of people have said this, but then also like, why would you both go on TV? Like, there's something wrong with someone who goes on TV, like knowing that there's something, that you have a dead body in your trunk.
After getting thousands and thousands of views, later that day, Bethenny went on to post another reel, focusing on Luis this time, saying he wasn't giving billionaire or even millionaire energy, as he claimed to, but, quote, hundredaire or thousandaire energy, implying that if he had the money he said he did, Luis wouldn't be on Real Housewives of New Jersey. Check this out.
We got to go back in on Luis and Teresa, not because any of you were surprised, because asked and answered, but because recently someone I know was talking about this really gauche, very wealthy man, you know, planes, trains, and automobiles. And he said about this guy, it's giving millionaire energy, not billionaire energy. And in the beginning, I remember someone talking to me about Teresa and Luis, and like that he was flying her places and like he was, you know, showering her with everything. And there was something about it that was like too much. And then I said, but he's on the Real Housewives of New Jersey. So he's like a major bag alert, but he's on that trash bin of a show. Doesn't make any sense. You only do that show if like you're broke ass and trying to get somewhere. And then once you get there, you get off. So Luis has always given hundredaire to thousandaire energy.
In response to this, the Housewives of New Jersey banded together to defend Teresa, or at least some of them did. On the April 1st episode of her podcast, Turning the Tables with Teresa Giudice, Teresa said, quote, "I heard that she got millions of views talking about me, and after that, I heard she made 4 more videos talking about me again. So, all I have to say is, you know what? Let her make that money on me, because she wouldn't be the first. Let's take a look."
Came out and she went in on you. She made several TikTok videos. She called the Real Housewives of New Jersey a trash show. What is your response to this?
Yeah, I didn't know she was talking about me until people started sending it to me because I unfollowed her. So I heard that she got millions of views talking about me.
Yeah.
And then after that, I heard she made 4 more videos talking about me again. So all I have to say is, you know what? Let her make that money on me because she wouldn't be the first. I heard Jen Fessler. Oh, yeah, because I texted with Jen Fessler. I heard Jen Fessler went at her. This is what Fessler said. She's a horrible woman. Dolores went after her too. And then again, she's a horrible woman. And she should mind her own fucking business. That was Jen Fessler.
So, Teresa explained what Jen Fessler had to say, but a text message to Teresa wasn't all she wrote. In a post on Instagram, Jen Fessler defended the integrity of the Real Housewives of New Jersey as a show. Check this out.
I heard that woman that makes the margaritas say that the Jersey Housewives is a trash bin of a show, and people only go on it if they're broke, and once they get somewhere, they get off it, and it pissed me off. First of all, P.S., I wasn't broke. I don't think any of the women were broke that went on it. That's number one. Number two, it afforded me opportunities, yes, and it was an incredible adventure. But also, I'm sorry. I know you think that New York is so classy and Jersey is so trashy. But honey, they're not that different. And the first time you went on, you might have been broke. But from what I remember, the second time you had made a lot of margaritas and you went back on it. Give me a break. That woman is nasty.
Dolores was also quick to reshare this, adding the caption, "You're 100,000% right. Drink Girl is so insufferable. Always trying so hard, she never shuts up, ever." And in an appearance on Two Teas in a Pod with Tamra Judge, Dolores commented on Bethenny's videos. Let's take a look.
She's actually, to me, dumpster fire. She's a broken girl. I don't remember her because she's rememberable. I remember her because I'm an empath and I felt a energy from her. To knock the same platform that made her, it made her.
I agree.
If it's so stop talking about it.
She wants to be like the Howard Stern of Housewives.
She wouldn't have one day in her on Jersey.
But Dolores and Jen weren't the only ones coming to Teresa's defense against Bethenny, as her eldest daughter Gia, now 24, was also quick to step in and defend her mother. In her new podcast, Casual Chaos with Gia Giudice, which aired on March 30th, Gia said, quote, "The second my mum got home from jail, she has been working her ass off to make sure that my sisters and I live a stable life and that my family is financially stable. Like, I can't stress enough how much my mum has worked." She added, quote, "Everything will be resolved. My mum has everything under control and there's nothing to worry about." Let's take a look.
I'm sure you all have seen the news, and a lot of you have been commenting on the Casual Chaos Instagram, wondering if I will comment on this topic. I told you guys that I want to be real with you, and I'm commenting on it. So let's start from the beginning a little bit. My mom has been the sole provider for my sisters and I since the minute my father left for prison. The second my mom got home from jail, she has been working her ass off to make sure that my sisters and I live a stable life and that my family is financially stable. Like, I can't stress enough how much my mom has worked. Everything will be resolved. My mom has everything under control and there's nothing to worry about. My stepdad, Louis, is the most amazing stepfather. He treats my sisters and I like we are his own. He is also working on getting everything resolved as well. But there's nothing to worry about. Everything's going to be fine. But thank you for your concern. And Bethenny Frankel, thank you so much for your sweet video. You are a mother with a daughter. I bet you wouldn't like if somebody was saying this about you. So I hope that $1,000 TikTok paycheck was really worth it. And thanks, but we're doing perfectly fine over here.
Sadly, things didn't end there, as Bethenny took to Instagram once again, where she responded to 24-year-old Gia with another couple of reels, where it seems she tried to explain that her intention hadn't been to hurt Teresa, but to educate her own fans. Bethenny said, quote, "If, in fact, they have tax issues and they're not paying them, and she didn't sign a prenup, it's not about her. I'm talking to you guys. It doesn't matter if you're poor, rich, who has what. You sign a prenup because it makes things much easier later. Watch this."
So there's some comments about some girls saying that I was bashing Teresa amongst her financial woes, which is complete fake news, because exactly what I was doing was saying, oh no, oh my God, no. I was jumping up and down wanting her to sign a prenup. Don't go in that closet. Like that, I feel badly for her because love is blind. But I will say that I'm going to talk about things that affect young girls, like my daughter and girls that are pre-wed. And I literally have nothing against Teresa. I like Teresa. And her guy was really nice to me at the MTV award thing. It's more about the subject matter. I have no idea what's going on with them, but I know that she should not be playing with fire when she went to jail. She's got a bunch of girls that depend on her. Period. The end. Only because I say this page is for the people will I respond to something that I would not normally respond to, that I wouldn't even understand, and that I don't really care about. So many of you are asking me to respond to something that Gia, Teresa's daughter, said about me. I guess her daughter said they're just fine. She would know better than I do if they're just fine. My occasional job or desire here is to talk to younger women about mistakes they might make if not guided, if not clear, if just looking around them at their peers. And Teresa was on Watch What Happens Live, and I almost jumped through my television because she wasn't signing a prenup. We're all aware of what happened with her in the past and mistakes that happened on television. And people, I guess, warned her about the guy that she's with, who I only met once and who was very nice. He could be a wonderful guy. It could all be a mistake. I don't know. If, in fact, they have tax issues and they're not paying them and she didn't sign a prenup, it's not about her. I'm talking to you guys, you young girls. It doesn't matter if you're poor, rich. It doesn't matter who has what. You sign a prenup because it makes things much easier later. And I feel that I'm in a position to discuss this because I went through a 10-year divorce. And the daughter, I don't know if it was the same daughter, but one of the daughters did say that she didn't like that the father made the mother sign a prenup. She's just ill-advised and not educated on this topic. She just doesn't know.
So, as of the day of recording on April 9th, this is the latest clip to come out in this back and forth that has become Bethenny versus the women of New Jersey. Though I'm pretty sure this won't be the end of it, even if Teresa and her daughters have bigger battles to fight right now. What do you guys think? Was Bethenny being malicious in her first video? Who is in the wrong here? Do Teresa and Luis really have this under control, like Gia says? And how will this impact Teresa's position on Real Housewives of New Jersey while casting is still up in the air? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. One thing I know is, if I was Gia, I'd be terrified that my mum may be in trouble again after everything that happened 10 years ago. Let's hope it can all be resolved without any further jail time or criminal convictions. That's it for today's video. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more reality TV news and updates as they happen. Thanks for watching.